Hey Book Talk, welcome back to our weekly live Ask Me Anything session where you get to ask your questions in real time for the next hour. The more you talk to me, the more likely you are to win one of my ebooks of your choice. Only thing off limits is the omnibus because those are more than one book in a single book. So you can pick any of these novels and that will be up to you. I do not limit how many times you can win, so the more you hang out and chat with me every week, the more likely you are to win my entire collection. I'm just saying, it has happened. We are going to be doing some really cool conversations today about things happening in the book world. I've got a really cool opportunity I want to tell you guys about. We've got some book world news, and I'm answering your questions. So if you have questions, now is the time to start dropping those. I'm so excited to see all of you. Go ahead and drop all those things down below. And I see the questions are starting to come in. I love it, I love it, I love it. Drop all those questions for me. But I do have a couple things I want to tell you about first. So for those of you who are just jumping on, I jumped on this live stream 10 minutes early today, and I will be jumping on 10 minutes early for the foreseeable future to give you a little bonus that will not be in the replay over on YouTube. I will be giving you book topic ideas. So if you're writers, if you're somebody who wants to get into writing, if you are published authors, I'm giving you weird random stories from my life that can inspire a story that you create. You don't have to credit me. You don't have to do anything. I'm just giving you these ideas. And even if you are just kind of training yourself to like write on a daily basis or just like strengthen your writing or just try short stories, please take these topics and please run with them because I would love to see what you create from them. And I dropped a really interesting one today that I can't talk about from this point forward because that's not going to be on the replay. But please show up 10 minutes early every single Friday. We go live at 3 p.m. Eastern. We jumped on at 2:50 Eastern to give you that special bonus that you can only get if you join me while we are live on air. If you love the idea of me giving you ideas, please let me know in the comments now. And if you guys heard the idea, please don't comment about it from this point forward because like top secret just for you guys. Another thing that I do want to talk to you about is that some people have been messaging me here on TikTok with questions. And unfortunately, because of your privacy settings, I do not have the ability to respond to you. I did try, it blocked me. So if you messaged me and you didn't hear back from me because I respond to everybody who doesn't seem like spam, it's because of your privacy settings. Please hit me up on one of the other platforms so that I can answer your questions. And there's two more things I want to chat about. We're going to get to that in just a couple minutes. Let me take some of your questions first. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Hello, hello. I'm excited to see all of you. I hope you all have your snacks and you're ready to go. What's your favorite book? So my favorite book that I've written, I tend to call them my debut twins. It's Golden, my Goldilocks retelling, and Jaded, my dystopian novel. They're my debut twins because they came out just a couple months apart. They were 3 months apart because my publisher made me. And they were just my first babies. They're my twins. They were so close together. It's just like when someone has twins, they're a couple minutes apart. My books were like just like that. So those are my debut twins. They hold special places in my heart because they were my debut babies. And I love the storylines and my leading ladies and my leading men. Just, oh, so good. So those are my faves that I have written. You're always smiling in every video and it's refreshing. Oh, yeah, I try to be peppy. Which is somehow connected to the story I told you guys before we started recording. Won't tell you how, but Athena, hey, what's your favorite series of books? Oh man, well, it comes down to being a tie between my books, the Golden Trilogy and the Jaded Duology. Just because I love the storyline, that I love the plot, and I just love the characters, and I love everything. Those are my favorites that I have written. Will you make a Snow White retelling? I do have a Snow White retelling. It is not out in the public, but holy, do I have the biggest twist ever? Back when I first started, before I became like published officially, I had started to query, and I had people coming to me through pitching contests wanting my book. And I had several books that I had queried, and there were bidding wars over several of my books, one of which was my Snow White retelling. I did not like the terms that they were offering me, so I turned them all down, and I still have that book. I'm actually going to rewrite it a little bit, because there's some changes I want to make since obviously I've grown as a writer, and I just kind of want to put a little twist somewhere in there. So I do have one. It is epic, but it's not out yet. I just found you recently, and I just wanted to say I love your personality and energy. Oh, Mickey, thank you. Ooh, it jumped on me. This always jumps on me. Keep coming with those questions. We're going to get all your questions answered today in the next hour, and somebody's going to win an ebook because I select your question or your comment, so talk more to me. You'll be more likely to win. How do you stay inspired? I used to write a lot and have ideas, but putting it on paper is hard. Dang, don't I know it. For me, I very much treat my writing like a business. So I have to write every day. I don't give myself permission to not write. So it's less about being inspired for me and staying inspired and more about, okay, if you want to get paid, you must get this done. Just like a chef has to cook, just like a candle maker has to make candles. I'm an author, so I have to write books. Now, I do get a lot of inspiration from the world around me, and I keep a running list on my phone of character names, lines that I like, locations, ideas, like even just like architectural things that might inspire me. I keep a running list of all of those so I can kind of go back and check that out as I go. And here's a little pro tip for you. We actually dropped a brand new video, and this is very important. If you guys have not been over to our YouTube page yet, you can head on over to the YouTube page when we're done here. I just realized I wasn't mirrored. It's just youtube.com/KMRobinsonBooks, and we started a brand new series called Show Me How You Write. In Show Me How You Write, I am sitting down with a handful of really cool award-winning best-selling authors, and we're showing you our on-screen process for how we write. That means every window we have up on our computer when we work, every program that we're using, we are showing you in detail exactly how we do it, so you can actually steal our way of writing if it fits for you, or you can kind of cobble together pieces from each of us to make your perfect fit to get your books written the way that you want them written. So you can go check that out. We dropped the first episode featuring me, so I show you my exact process on screen, and then next week's episode we are jumping in with one of the authors and they're going to explain how they work inside of their writing strategy as well. But something that I do say is if you are struggling a little bit with your writing, sometimes you need to take a little bit of a break from it. It could be the project you're working on is not the right project for you right now. So set that one aside and try working on something else. Now, it could be that you're just kind of in one of those ruts a little bit. Usually at that point, I recommend that you go do something else creative, whether it's photography or pottery, you are building something, you are going on like a photo hunt out in nature, you're doing something that is creative, so your creative mind stays engaged, but it's not writing. That usually, typically, will get you in the correct place to get where you need to continue on with your writing, so that's my little pro tip for you. How do you stay motivated when your project is no longer new and some of the excitement is gone? So same deal. If you want to be published, you have to treat it like it is a job. It is a job, so you have to make the time every single day to write with it. If it's not exciting you, if your book right now is not exciting you, you need to do something different inside of your book, because if it's not exciting you, it's not going to excite your readers. So switch something. What is the worst case that could possibly happen? Write that, and then go back and fix it later. In fact, one of the authors in the Show Me How You Write series actually just said this to you, or to me, I guess, and then to you when we drop this, so I'm going to steal it from her. She said the best advice she had ever been given was when you hit a wall, think about what is the most absurd thing that could happen in this scene. Write that scene. It'll move the plot forward. Now, usually you're not going to keep that scene where it is, but you get the characters out of that situation and get them onto something else. So then you can go back later on and you can just blend it in and fix it up and change it a little bit. So stay tuned. It's going to be more information on that inside of that episode. That'll be over the next few weeks because I don't actually remember which one of them said it to me, nor the order of when these episodes are coming out, but they are coming. And they are good, let me tell you. Sophie, do you have a favorite author? I love Suzanne Collins, who did The Hunger Games, Divergence, Veronica Roth, Kira Cass of the Selection series, and Abby Kettner and Missy Kalikicki of the Branded books from a Sinner series. Those are really inspirational books to me and really impacted the way that I write. And I actually have videos over on my YouTube page about that, so you can go check that out. What books do you recommend for people who like the Twilight series? I don't read vampire stories, so I can't give you too many recs, just because that's not my jam. But I know that my dear friend A.G. Howard, she wrote Splintered and she wrote Stain. She's got a new vampire book coming out, so you can actually go and hit up her socials to learn a little bit more about that. How do you get published? So head on over to youtube.com/KMRobinsonBooks. I have full out explanation, tutorial videos on what you need to know about the publishing industry and how you can pick your path to publishing, what's going to be right for you, what's going to be right for your book, where you make the money, what you need to know, all those fun, fabulous things. Hey, listen, if you're here joining me, I'm answering all of your questions. The more you chat with me, the more likely you are to win one of my ebooks of your choice. And I need you all to invite your friends. Tell them we're here. Go get your books off people and bring them. We're here hanging out with you guys, but we want more people being brought to the party. So go ahead and bring them. Bring them now. It's going to be fun. A couple more announcements, because I know we've got a lot more questions coming in, but I want to make sure I get everything out there that I do need to say to you. There we go. I know I had 2 more. I have it listed back behind my phone. So I'm super excited. If you do not follow me on Instagram, and I know most of you don't, y'all need to go over to Instagram with me. I am doing some really cool things over there, and I'm about to have like the dang coolest, most fun interview over on my Instagram. That is happening on Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. We're hanging out with my dear friend Jenna A, and I just kind of want to show you what Jenna does, because Jenna is an author, but not quite an author like me. She writes in a different capacity. And so Jenna is actually a, come on now. Jenna is actually, there we go, a webcomic creator. She has my all-time favorite webcomic out there on Webtoon and Tapas and all of those things. It's called Enjoy the Show. It's basically about it's kind of like a new adult story. So it's about a girl named Violet who goes to Las Vegas. She gets a job in a movie theater. She's doing college out there, and it's kind of about the people that she works with, the disasters that happen there, and the really hot security guard who's like flirting with her. It's so much fun. It's incredible. I have always told Jenna and her co-writer that if they turn this into a novel form, I will 100% publish her book with my company. And I love it. So we're going to be hanging out with Jenna on Monday. She and I kind of come with a warning label. We are fun, and we are a lot, and we are very intense. You guys are gonna have so much fun meeting Jenna. And Jenna is actually part of a contest with Webtoon. So this is not like a big Webtoon thing, but I just real quick want to give this a shout out because we are actually going to need your help. I am hardcore pulling for her to win this because she is kind of in the indie world, just like us. So there's like the indie world and the trad world in Webtoon. She's in the indie version. She wants to get over to the trad world, the traditional world. So like she wants to be featured so she can get paid for her webcomic. And I will say, it is the best one on the platform, period, without exception. And if you don't know, I used to run a platform that I helped all of those authors to grow on. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, best one on the platform. So we're going to need your help to vote on that one, which you will be able to do starting on Monday. But we're going to go and hang out with her. We're going to read some of her story. We're going to do all the fun things. In fact, if you want to see a little bit of her story, she's given me permission to share it with you while we're on air. So if you want to hear some of that story, go ahead and let me know now. And maybe we'll take a look and we'll read a little bit of it together while we're here on air, and then we're going to meet her on Monday. So if you're not on my Instagram yet, get yourself over there. It's going to be fun. The other thing I wanted to point out to you, and this is going to set you all off, I know that it is, there are no concrete details on this yet. This is advanced information. This is a coming soon piece of information. I have done this before and I'm doing this again, and I'm telling you early, but I don't have a link to send to you yet because I have not finalized the details yet. You're getting this exceptionally early. Are you ready? I'm going to set you off. I'm about to hold an open submission anthology, which means you can write a story and apply to be published by me, but that's all I'm telling you. If you're excited, let me know. Alright, jumping back into your questions. Is there a book genre you don't like writing about? So I'm not so much of a paranormal girl. I do not do like the vampire, oh my goodness, so many notifications right now. If you're on the replay, sorry. I don't really do the paranormal-y side of things. I don't really write contemporary. I tried once. It was okay. I stopped like halfway through because I had more interesting things to do. Maybe one day I'll read a contemporary, but I'm not such a big fan of reading contemporary. I typically stick to my sci-fi and my fantasy. That's my happy place, my sci-fi, my dystopians, my retellings. Nothing I would say I particularly dislike. I just don't really lean toward those other genres. Moving on, let's see what else we've got. Do you have any tips for outlining chapters? You know what? I want you to pay attention to my Show Me How You Write series over on YouTube, because I don't actually outline my book. I'm a plantser, so I'm right in between plotting and pantsing. And I know like my big stepping stones, but I don't do it full out. And we do have some people that do, and that they're going to actually show you how they do it. So go check that out. That's a good one for you. You bought 2 of my books the other day, but you haven't started them yet. You've been on a reading slump. Well, thank you for helping me pay my bills. I do appreciate it. You read it when you feel ready to read it, and if you love it, come talk to me about it. And also, please leave a review on Amazon. It does make and break my life as an author, because I can't buy ads if I don't have reviews. Just a little life lesson for y'all. What do you use to make your book covers? I'm a professional Photoshopper, a professional photographer, professional graphic designer, all those fun things. I use Photoshop CC. You can actually watch me create book covers live on air every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on my YouTube channel, so you can go check that out. And I actually show you exactly what I do. I just describe the tools I'm using, like I hold nothing back. I literally teach you as I go. So that is available to you to go watch over there. Replays are up. Is there anything that influences your writing, like stuff that happens in the real world? Sometimes I do write things in my real life into my stories. If you've read my Jada duology, y'all know the butterfly scene. Real life happened to me. A real life pond and lake in my world inspired the one in the book, as did the real life pool, which is extremely different than the one in Jada, but it did inspire it. So I do sometimes write things in kind of twisted ways into my stories, just so you can kind of experience things with me. And I write them very, very differently. So like the butterfly scene happened to me, but happened differently than it happened inside of the story. So it was like a spin-off. You like my hat? Thank you very much. It's super cute, right? I'm a big fan of hats. What's the best way to find ghostwriters? There are like websites where you can hire ghostwriters. If you go to like Reedsy.com, there are some. Sometimes if you like, there's a particular writer that you like, you can approach them. You can also put out calls in like author groups to see if anybody wants to ghostwrite for you. But when you do that, be very specific about the project so they know exactly what the details are, what type of genre it is, like all those things. And just be aware ghostwriting is not cheap. All right. Have I always wanted to be a writer? No, I didn't know I was going to be a writer at all. I went to school for elementary education. And I graduated. I started a photography business because I knew teaching was not going to pay my bills. And through that, I started teaching authors because they came to me asking for help taking pictures of their books. And then my photographers saw how I was helping the authors market. And then they asked me to teach them how to do that as well. And in the middle of teaching them all the social media strategy, they kind of got their claws in me, and I started to write just for me. And then my friend roped me into querying, and then I turned down a bunch of book contracts, and then I found the right fit, and here we are. But it was a total accident. I did not mean to get into the publishing industry. Oh, it jumped on me. Let's see what's going on here. Oh boy, y'all send in the good questions. Hang on. There we go. I love to write short stories, but I'm super shy, so I never actually show anyone. Do you have any advice? Find beta readers. So if you write things and you don't want to send them out to the public until it's actually like polished up and sounds better than what you've written, because we all need that, I would recommend finding 2 or 3 beta readers to help you tear it to shreds and make it better. And then you'll feel more confident, and then you can start doing whatever it is that you need to do to get it out there. Okay, how do you choose between past or present tense, which is easier, which is liked more? That is an excellent question. And that really comes down to a personal decision. So what feels right for you? What feels right for the story? I know that all writers tend to bounce between tenses. I started out in past tense and third person, and then I went to first person present tense. And even so, sometimes I still write things in past tense, like in the middle of a sentence. So it's just a thing. It's just a thing. But it really comes down to what feels right for you. And there will be different people who say different things. There will be different publishing companies who want different things. People will rip you in the reviews because they didn't like the tense that you wrote in, no matter what you do. So it just comes down to what is easiest for you. If you find yourself writing in one tense and as you go back, you're finding yourself slipping out of that tense into another tense, maybe that's the tense that you prefer. That's just kind of what happened to me. But it might for you as well. So really it just comes down to what you want to do and what feels best for you. And then, like, if you want to work with a specific company, if you're going traditionally published, I would recommend looking at like 10 of the books that they published to see what tense they're in, because they may lean stronger toward one than the other. And you certainly don't want to have them ask you to change the entire book to a different tense, because they can and will do it if they want you to. Have you ever thought of writing a spin-off of The Ugly Duckling? I have. I haven't really found my spin on it yet. I know a couple of my author friends have written those. I'm blanking so hard on it right now. I feel like Alicia Gale might have one. I know there's like one or two out there. But I have not come up with my spin on it just yet, but it is definitely something I will tackle when I create the spin that I want for it. Does publishing make up all of my income? Is it a reliable source of income? That's a great question. No, it does not. Publishing can be really hard to make money in. So when it comes to books, you usually make between a couple of cents and maybe $2 or $3 per book as the author, depending on what your contract is. You don't make a lot. So you have to sell a lot of books, which means you have to have a lot of books out there, and you have to have a lot of marketing. You have to like really, really work on it. Now, I know a lot of people who make 6 figures with their book sales. I don't make that much right now. But I will say that through my efforts here on TikTok, I have quadrupled my book sales this month than usual months. So you can make money. You can make good money. You can make really good money. But it really comes down to how much you've written, how good your books are, how marketable your books are, how much marketing you're doing, and the fan base that you are bringing to your books. You're 100% responsible for your own marketing, no matter what industry part you're working in. Whether you're indie or traditional, you are going to basically be on your own for marketing, so you have to learn how to do it or you're not going to sell your books. I have a friend with a big 5 publisher. She has to sell thousands of copies of her book on pre-order by herself. So you got to learn how to do it. No, you will not make money right off the bat as an author. It does take time to build up an audience that keeps coming for your new books and for your old books. Remember, once somebody buys one book, they're not going to buy that same book again. It's not recurring income. So you keep having to find new and new and new readers. Because if you don't, your income stops. So you do have to work. Now for me, I'm a social media strategist as well. I teach courses, I teach webinars, I work with big companies, I have sponsors who sponsor the content that I'm creating to teach people how to use Instagram and how to use TikTok and how to grow through Facebook and how to grow through YouTube and all these things. So I do a lot of different things. I'm also a designer, I do book cover designs, like I got a lot going on. So I have different streams of income. Right now, my author stuff is pulling in decent money, but not enough that I would be like, to my other stuff. So that's where we're at with that one. I would tell your friends, but they don't really read, about coming to hang out here. I got you. What's a ghostwriter? A ghostwriter is somebody who is hired to write a book or a blog post or something on a website for somebody else and does not get the credit for it. So, for instance, I have ghostwritten blog posts before. So a wedding blog had contacted me because they didn't want to write their own blog posts. So I wrote like 60 blog posts for them and got paid for it. And then it goes on their website, credit to them as if they were the author. I don't get credit for that. So ghostwriting is where you do the work and you get paid instead of getting your name out there. I've also ghostwritten books where I don't get paid, or I do get paid for my work. I don't get my name on the book. And that's just, I'm being paid and compensated for not getting the credit for that. So that's all a ghostwriter is. Do I collect notebooks? Oh, you're so funny. I have a pile of them sitting behind me. Out of your characters, was there one that was difficult to write, develop? So I have a little bit of a beef with one of my characters. In the Jaded Duology, Lucas was not a character who was supposed to be there for more than like 2 or 3 lines. And he bullied his way into multiple lines, and then he bullied his way into a supporting character, like a lead supporting character, and then he like became pivotal to the entire book, and he was not supposed to, and I tried to like shove him back, and he like pushed back, and for like 3 years I despised him. Now we get along now, it's all good, but he and I had issues. I used to call him Smarmy, and man, I can't say anything because spoilers, but like, that boy gave me grief. The webcomic on Webtoon from Jenna A is called Enjoy the Show. How did you get the condensed to publish your books? And did you start with the short story? How did you get the condense? I think it auto-corrected you. And I'm not quite sure what this is. I did not do short stories. I jumped in with full-length novels. Short stories don't sell unless it is like a serialized collection of short stories that you put out within like 2-ish weeks of each one. So my friend Sarah K. L. Wilson has her Dragon series, and she would put out a novella, and then 2 weeks later another novella, and then 2 weeks later another novella, until she got through like 10, 15 of them to form this collection of books. And it sold because she did it serialized like a TV show, so back to back to back releases. Other people have tried it and like spaced them out. Those don't really sell very well. So short stories don't typically sell super well. Now that I am established and I have a name and reputation, I do write novellas. A lot of my novellas were part of anthologies at one point, and once the contract was up, the exclusivity contract was up, I pulled them and published them as independent books as well. So they're still in the anthologies, but they're also on their own. So that's why you see my shorter stories like Syndrel and Blood is Silent, because they were all kind of coming from anthologies or were intended for anthologies that did not happen. And because I have that name and popularity already, they do sell. But if I had done it on its own, probably not as much as full-length novels or series. Oh, you can't wait. I can't wait to meet Jenna too. It's gonna be so much fun. Yay, short stories or novels? To read or to write? I don't know, I do both. I write both full length and short stories. I got nothing for you. I guess for me it just depends on what fits for what I'm writing and what fits for what I'm reading. You're excited about the announcement? I knew you would be. Do I create book covers? Yeah, so I'm a professional designer. I've created all my book covers but one, and that's because my traditional publishing company had to use their in-house people. So when I sold the rights to that book, they had to use their people contractually. So that was that, but I designed all the rest of these beautiful babies. What do you use to draw that stuff? This is Photoshop. I just use Photoshop to create my book covers. Can you do a second novella for Syndrel? It was the first book I bought of yours, and I wanted more. My computer just froze. A number of people have asked me to do more in the realm of Syndrel. It is definitely something I'll consider. I just haven't done it yet because I haven't had the time because I have other books that I had to write. So, like, start a petition, get people to, like, force me to write it, and I'll do it for you. Bump it up on my list. What's the longest series you've seen? My favorite series is 31 books. I don't know. I don't know. Like, back when I was in middle school, my middle grade books were in, like, massive series, and there were hundreds of books in them, but they were also middle grade, so they were shorter books. But I couldn't tell you. I got nothing. I got nothing for you. My daughter, oh, it jumped. Something about a daughter being 8, and there was a question attached or something to that. I'm just scrolling, guys. Oh my gosh, you all. Oh, here we go. Oh, your daughter is 8 and comes up with great stories. Oh, that's awesome. Would like to be published, but she isn't great with grammar yet. Hire an editor. We talk about it over my YouTube page. You can go check that out, how younger children can be published. You don't have to be over 18 to be published. You just have to be aware that there are some legal stuff you have to make sure you take care of. So head on over to my YouTube page for more info on that one. Scrolling. I want to write a book, but you don't have any ideas and you feel like you're young. Well, anybody can write a book. Anybody can write a book. Doesn't matter how old or young you are. I have books from when I was a child, like a little child, that I wrote, or I've written for school or just for myself. I've actually shown them on my live streams before. You can catch some of those over on my YouTube page. But there's that really great video on how teenagers can be writing books over on my YouTube page. So youtube.com/KMRobinsonBooks. Go check that out. Who to use as a beta reader? Friends or family? Yeah. You want to look for people who know the genres really, really well. So people who heavily read, not just people like not friends and family, but like people you know who read a lot of books in that genre. So they know the tropes, they know what's going on there, they know the drill with this, and then have them read through that. A beta reader is not the same thing as an editor, does not take the place of, but beta readers will help you like catch the early stuff. Use strangers since you feel less attacked. Yep, that's fine too. Just make sure you are protecting your work as you're doing it. We have information on how to connect with beta readers actually on the YouTube page, and I think I talked about it on my Instagram page. It's probably in IGTV too. Go check those out. Have you ever tried writing nonfiction? Yes. How do you find a stranger to do that? Well, there are critique partner matches on places like Twitter you can go look for. I think it's just critique partner match CPM, something like that. You can go look it up on Twitter. It's over there. Discord, yeah, okay. Hello. Do you write in notebooks or strictly typing? Oh, always typing. I do not waste my time writing things down with paper because then you have to redo it. Also, wrist injuries, finger injuries. Don't do it. If you are even potentially strained with your anything, just that's not cool. I always type it. It's so much more conducive to being a professional author because you got to get a lot of things done very, very quickly in order to survive and make money in this industry. Did your sponsors reach out to you, or did you put together a package to pitch them? They have all reached out to me, George. I have worked closely with some of these companies for a very long time, and they came to me to ask for help launching different parts of their platform. So right now, I'm working with Logitech to launch their new LiveStream platform. I work with companies like BeLive. I do all sorts of really cool things with different companies, and I help them launch things, and I teach on their pages, and I teach courses and webinars, and I do their conventions and things like that. They've all come to me based on the things that they've seen from my YouTube teachings or from what I'm doing. I haven't. I've reached out to certain companies for like affiliateships. It's a little bit different than sponsorships. So I am actually in the process of creating a package because there's a couple of companies I want to be like, hi, I'm here. I would love to work with you. So that is something I'm working on. But at this point, all of the companies have come to me. They don't get credit, I would at least like a mention. For a ghostwriter, you're literally paid for it. So if you are a writer and you're getting credit for it, you are not getting paid for it until people buy your book. If you are a ghostwriter, you get paid up front a lump sum of money and you don't get credit for it. That's how it works. Sometimes, especially if you're a newer writer, you can make more money as a ghostwriter than a noted author, let's call it. Any tips on making species for a book? Species? Like fantasy creatures? Is that what we're talking about? Fill me in. Okay, continuing on. Oh my gosh, we have so many questions coming in. This is fantastic, but I should probably keep going faster. What's your first book that you were obsessed with? Oh, you're making me think to when I was a kid. I don't know. Let's do this. I don't know the first one because my mother was a librarian. I grew up reading from birth. But as an adult, I discovered the world of young adult stories. And with that, I found the Hunger Games. And then I I was teaching. I was a teacher, and my students were trying to tell me about Divergent, and they couldn't tell me about Divergent. Like, what is this story about? They're like, I don't know. She's training, and somebody gets stabbed in the eye, and that was all that they could tell me. And so somebody gifted me a copy of it. My aunt had bought it for my cousin and accidentally bought the same book twice, so she's like, here, you can have it. So I became obsessed with that. Then I started to like legit get into reading books again because I had taken a little bit of time off in college. And the selection series came about. And of course I couldn't find a book to fill the hole in my heart. I came into this after all the books had been published. And I loved it, and it launched me into writing. So let's go with those. My style is amazing. Thank you. I didn't know you could go live on this platform. Good to know. You have to have over 1,000 subscribers to go live here on TikTok. Sophie really loves my covers. Thank you. Scrolling back up because it jumped on me again. Oh, good. Here it is. Has anybody pitched a book idea to you? Like daily people come to me and beg me to write books. I can't write all these books, guys. I've got hundreds of ideas of my own. I have so many things that I'm jumping onto these live streams early to give you book ideas. Please don't pitch me your book ideas. I can't write them for you. Oh, unless you mean for my publishing house, in which case you have to submit a query properly. I'm struggling to finalize the main conflict in the book I'm writing. I have the other details, though. Okay. That is an important thing to have. I would work on that. Book ideas. Awesome. Give each other book ideas. What are the books like Splintered and Unfortunate Fairy Tales? Retellings? I read a ton of retellings. If that's what you're asking me, I got a bunch of them. You're debating what form of media to put your work into. I like the idea of a book or a podcast. Those are always fun ones. I recommend them. I have both. I wrote a book years ago, but I feel it's not good. You haven't shown anyone and turned it into a short story. Oh, cool. Very nice. Breaking it down into a short story. That's a great idea. Did you say Monday for the Instagram live stream? Yes, I did. Monday at 3 p.m. Eastern. So same time as we started today over on Instagram. Do you hate it when a book has virtually no fandom? I don't hang out in fandoms, so I don't really notice if I read a book and I love it. Yay me! And I don't go socialize with people about it unless they're like my other friends. But I love it when people have fandoms, especially for my books. It makes me happy. What would your dream ball gown look like? I don't know where the rest of that question went. Hang on. There we go. I know you love all the fancy stuff. Caroline, I do. I do. So, oh man, I'm just like, my head's spinning. I'm like, blues, greens, bigs, poofies, lace, no, this, that. So I don't know what my dream ball gown would look like. I just have so many options in my head. But let me tell you about my all-time favorite dress that I have worn. So I've been to several proms, I've been to several banquets that are basically like prom, and my absolute favorite dress that I have ever worn for one of these events was for my junior college banquet. And it was a strapless black long dress, and it was tiered lace. So it was just like lace, and tiers all the way down. It had like a satin sash across it, and I had very short curly hair at the time because somebody had chopped my hair off in college too. And I had a purple flower in my hair with some pearls, and that was just my all-time favorite, like, ball gown-y type look. It wasn't like super poofy, but it had enough poof that it was like romantic and lovely and just my favorite thing ever. Yes, I have pictures. No, I can't show you because TikTok, and also I don't have them ready, but like, ask me sometime, I'll show you guys. Do you ever get tired of answering questions? No, not at all. I love answering questions. I answer questions as much as possible. And I even answer the same questions over and over and over again to make sure I get them answered for everybody. So send in all the questions. I love it. Have I ever read the Matched, Crossed, Reached series? Yes, I have. And if you noticed my TikTok that I posted right before we went live, you will have seen that I was giving alternatives to the Selection series. So if you're a fan of the Selection series, you can read my book Jaded, you can read Amber Art Duel's Fragile Chaos, or you could read the Match series. So we started talking about that on the TikTok today. Y'all love that series? Fantastic, fantastic. Have you heard or seen the show Tell Me a Story? Okay, so I wanted to watch that so badly, and then I didn't have time. So it's still on my to-do list, but I love the idea of it, especially since it's dark retellings. So it is something I'm planning to do, and I haven't done yet because, like, chaos in life. So fun. What do you think of the 4th book of the Selection series, Being a New Girl, I Miss America? So it is the story of her daughter. I personally would have preferred if it had been like a spin-off series and not like a continuation of this series, but that's just me, and people have a lot of different opinions about it. I did do a TikTok on the Selection series, and people are in there chatting about it, so if you want conversations on the Selection series, please go find that TikTok and engage with those people, because those be your people. Alright. Loving my enthusiasm. Thank you. How do I organize my bookshelf? To show off my books. Everything you're seeing right now, all my books, just so it looks pretty. My bookshelves over there that I do for the background of most of my things. So I've got like 2 different bookshelves. One is a 3 stack and one is a 5 stack. And again, those are just to show off really pretty books. So I don't have any rhyme or reason to it. It's just what's going to look good in my videos and photos. If somebody wrote a book, could you read it and give your opinion? No, I cannot, because I get literally hundreds of requests for that every single month. Literally hundreds. It's never ending. I wish that I could read everybody's book. I physically can't do it. Even if I never slept, even if I never wrote a book again, I would never get through all of that. I do developmental editing professionally. So that means if you want me to come in and like clean up plot holes and stuff and like fix up your book with you, you can pay me to do that. But the only reading I do for other people are other established authors who I'm trading books with. So we're doing this for each other, just because it's crazy insane the number of requests we get on that one. But I am cheerleading you, and I'm super excited about your book. I just can't read it right now because it's physically impossible. You always make my day. Oh, thank you, Sophie. Sylvia, hey, I am good, thank you. Oh, jumping again. Sorry, guys, hang on. Dynamic characters, give them something to overcome and then keep throwing stuff in the way. I feel like that's definitely a better answer to that. I feel like I don't have it right now to like give a very well-spoken, thought-out answer on that one. So I think I'm gonna think about that and come back to it. What's your favorite book that I have written? The Golden Trilogy and the Jaded Duology tend to be my favorites because they were my debut twins. I have not read The Fever King. I have heard it. I'm like vaguely picturing the cover, but I have not read it. So the question is, do you love Harry Potter and Hunger Games? I love the Hunger Games. I have not read Harry Potter. Big fan of the Hunger Games though. Would I ever make a Discord server? I have one. I haven't opened it to the public yet because I'm still like fixing some things on the inside, getting things ready because there's a lot of different parts to it. But yeah, that's something that everybody keeps asking me about. So it is coming. I have to get things in place before I let everybody in because it will be chaos the second I open that. Like, y'all couldn't go let it in. It is going to be a thing. What's my favorite way to read, digital or physical books? Probably ebooks, just because it's easier on me physically. It can be kind of hard to hold books with my wrist injuries. So digital tends to be great. Also, I read really fast, so when I do go places, I have bunches of books on my phone or on my tablet. I can just go through them and I don't have to carry like stacks of books. But also, I mean, nothing beats holding a physical book, right? So, kind of a toss-up. If you have questions about my race, you can go ahead and you can message me on that later. It would depend on a number of different things and the openings I have available at the time. Do I have a favorite character that I've written? Jade from the Jaded Duology, and Illyria and Dove from Golden, and Annika from Sugar Coated. and Jack and Genesis from The Revolution of Jack Frost. And I'm going to stop because I'm going to keep talking. And Muffet and Spider from Along Came a Spider. Like, they were so fun to write. I'm going to stop because I'll keep talking about my characters. But please, ask me more questions about my characters. Like, that's my favorite thing to talk about. When did I start writing? I've been a published author for 3.5 years. I took a year off before that, so like maybe 5 years ago. What platform do I use to read? I'm gonna be real honest. I haven't read for fun in an exceptionally long time because all of my reading time goes to reading my author friends' books, and they usually just send me copies of it and we just swap. And if I'm beta reading for them, if I'm doing developmental edits, or even if I'm just like reading it so I can pimp it out to my fans, we just like send each other things. So it kind of is what it is for that one. Oh, jumping things. It's my favorite Hunger Games book. I don't know. I like them all. I don't know. I don't have an answer for that one. Do you prefer to write standalones or series, or does it depend on how the plot plays out? Well, I will say standalones don't sell nearly as well as series. So if you've got a series, you're going to make more money. It does take a little more time because you have to have the full series out before you start bringing in money on it, really. But by far, and I think pretty much every author's going to back me on this one, series make more money, so I tend to write more series. But sometimes it's refreshing to have just like a little standalone, so I do that as well. I have a nice mix of both series and standalones inside of my collection. Favorite couple in the Hunger Games? Well, I'm not Team Peeta, I'll tell you that much. Don't hate. I don't think anybody should be with Katniss. I think she's not ready for any of them. But that's just where I'm going. And I'm going to stop because I have other opinions on that one. Ooh. Do my characters just live inside of my head forever? Yeah, basically. Basically, every once in a while, like, I'll write blog posts for you guys, or back in the day I would write blog posts where it would be like, oh, it's Christmas time, so let's imagine a Christmas party with all my characters hanging out and having Christmas dinner together. And I would just have them, like, interact, and it was kind of fun. Is there a book of yours that you recommend for your first book? I usually recommend that you start with the Jada Duology. It made my fans start an emotional support group, and it's an emotional roller coaster. So much fun, you're gonna hate me. It's awesome! Do you have a favorite personality trait from your characters that you wrote? I love Jade's personality. She is in a situation where she is forced to marry the son of her enemy. And they're gonna make everybody believe that they love her, murder her, and make it look like an accident. She has to try to survive by making her new husband fall in love with her, but also she kind of gets back at them by doing like these quiet little rebellious things that isn't like super noticed, but like makes them uncomfortable and makes them like nervous around her. And I just love that she's like, I'm not going down with a fight. I'm going to rebel against you, but not in a way that like you can actually pinpoint and prosecute me for. I love it. Ooh, woohoo! All the questions coming in. I love it. Is there an author that you don't like? Well, I mean, professional courtesy says we're nice to everybody. I wouldn't say that there's someone that I don't like. But I mean, I've got close friends, and then I've just got other people that are out there. So you'll hear me talk a lot about my friends. Just because I don't talk about somebody doesn't mean I don't like them. It just means that we're not good friends. You love Christmas. Yay, Christmas. Who's the best person in the Hunger Games? You know, Effie Trinket's really fun. I did some photo shoots, like Hunger Games inspired photo shoots, because I'm a professional photographer, and I made outfits for my clients. 2 different times, actually. One of them was like full-out outfits out of fabric. The other was made out of newspaper dresses. If you guys haven't seen my newspaper dress collection, it is to die for. I did all of like the princesses and the villains and then YA characters and like Hunger Games and Divergent and the Match series and like all the things. And I just love styling her dresses for those photo shoots. So she's a very fun one for me. Like if I were going to play a character in a movie, I feel like Effie would be so much fun to play. Your characters would cause chaos on Christmas dinner. Yeah, you should see mine. Some of my characters from like different books don't get along. It's funny. What would happen if your characters Dove, Cinderella, and Annika went on a mission together? Oh man! Oh, I would love to see that. Oh, I'm picturing it now. I feel like I should write something some kind of crossover-y thing. That could be fun. Just So Cinderella is my assassin Cinderella. Dove Bear is Baby Bear in the Goldilocks series. And then Annika is Hansel and Gretel's witch, who isn't actually a witch. And I feel like Dove and Annika would just like instant best friends. They would be great together. It would be like him and Rayla, who is Alluria's best friend. And I feel like they would be totally in sync. Cinderella is a little more pushy, but she also is like willing to take people down, and so is Dove. So I can see him like either like grating with her or like clicking with her. I don't know which. I think it depends on like each individual scene inside of that storyline. So I feel like that would be really fun. You've given me ideas. Somebody remind me of that later. Would you DM me that? What character of yours reflects on your own personality the most? I think I wrote a lot of myself into Illyria from the Golden Trilogy and Jade from the Jada duology. They were my debut babies. I wanted to make sure that with my early books, I represented things that I wasn't seeing in books and in TV shows and in movies from my personal point of view that I always looked for. So like the hair, both of them had hair that matched mine at some point in my life. A lot of their personality traits are things that I had in me that I didn't really see. Both of them are very girly, and that was something for a long time was not a big thing inside of the YA world. It was more of like, we're casting off the dresses and cutting our hair and we're not going to be girly anymore in YA, and I didn't like that. So I wrote what I wanted to see into that. So the two of them, very much like the three of us, blend together nicely. We each have things that are different, but things that are similar, and some connections and like personal things, and like they're probably the closest to me. And then I start having fun, and I'm like, let's write a mermaid willing to kill everybody and things like that. I'm not quite that like intense. So there is that. How did you find out which genre you were best at writing? I wrote what I read. I loved retellings, and I loved sci-fi dystopians, and so I started off doing that, because if you don't understand the genres, you are going to fail. So you have to have something that you are really, really familiar with when you jump into this to make sure that you know what you're doing. And oh my gosh, we have 8 minutes left, and I have 16 new messages, and we have to give away a book. Ha! Let's hustle. We might go over a little bit today. That's okay. You'll stick with me. Scrolling. Hi, if you're just joining, hello. One of your antagonists that you deeply love. I mean, I feel like I love to hate him. I hate. I feel strongly and impassioned about some of my antagonists, and the commander is definitely one of them. And let's just leave it at that. Well, that's a discussion for another day. Do you have a least favorite Hunger Games character? No? President Snow? I mean, it's probably obvious, right? I don't know. You know what I really like in Hunger Games that I didn't talk about? Finnick Odair. Can we just talk about that man? We need to have a full live stream. Let's do this. I'm going to pause on the Hunger Games questions. Let's just have a live stream at some point this week, and we'll just talk about the Hunger Games. Okay? We'll just come fan together. What are your thoughts on President Snow after reading the fourth book? I haven't read it yet. Oh my gosh, I have been so excited for it, but I haven't had time to read it yet. I haven't gotten my hands on a copy of it yet. I walked by it in a store the other day, and I had to tell myself no. But I want to read it so bad. Don't spoil it for me. What college university did you go to? Valley Forge. University of Valley Forge. Sometimes I come up with crossovers for your characters in your mind. That's so funny. When you come up with those, would you please DM me? Because that just makes my day. I love it. Who bought a book? Someone bought a book while we were on air. I don't get notifications when I sell books from any of the platforms, but if you buy them from my website where I like hand sign them, I get email notifications that those come in. One of you just bought one. Yeah, you. Speaking of which, if I don't have it in inventory, I will order it and then send it to you. It might take a couple days. I am running low on some of my books. For your assassin book, how do you go about writing action scenes? Like, what research helps? Well, it depends on what it is. So if it's like a fight scene, I do know some stuff about fighting. I do know some stuff about weaponry. I know some stuff about stuff. So for some of it, I got it covered. Let's just say for like my Mulan book, there's a lot of martial arts in there. I know a little bit, but I don't know a lot. So University of YouTube, that is going to be my best offering to you because you can see what is happening visually, and you can explain it from there. And also you can learn. So like when I did my Little Red Riding Hood circus aerialist story, I had to go get a person who is a circus aerialist to teach me about it and tell me the proper terminology and send me to the right places to research the right things for that, to make sure that that was accurate. Which of your books would you like to spend a day in? Now, see, Caroline, that is a good question because I typically write horrifying, traumatizing books. There's torture, there's death, there's all sorts of dangerous things. So while I would 100% love to hang out with Dove Bear, like for sure, it's probably not a smart choice to go into the world of Golden. So my books that I could survive easily: the Jaded Duology, because they are not after me, they're only after Jade. Blood is Silent, I would totally survive the circus there. That one's one of my fluffier books. I would probably do well in my Legends Chronicles Along Came a Spider, my Miss Muffet retelling, because that's hackers. Hello, I can do all sorts of cool things with that. The mermaid books would be amazing, even though it's about a war. I would love to be a mermaid. I'm just saying, I'm going to stop talking because that's all sorts of cool things there. Who's your favorite villain? I think my best written villain is the commander in the Jaded Duology. Man, is evil and vicious and so good. And my fans have this weird obsession with him. I don't know. Some of my fans are obsessed with like my murderous villains. I don't get it, but okay. We have 8 minutes left. I know. We're gonna go over because now we've only had 3. You did, but you bought it from Amazon. Well, Mickey, thank you. I appreciate being paid for my writing. It is super helpful. It didn't give me that notification, but I appreciate it. You asked for 3 of my books for Christmas. Good choices. Put it on the wish list. Also, stay tuned. I'm going to have Christmas bookish ideas for you, like our book talk shirts, which are currently available from Amazon Prime and from Redbubble, and multiple designs are available as well. I'm just saying you should go grab them because yes, I do get a little bit of money from those, just like I get royalties for my book, again, from the shirts that I have designed and the swag and the other stuff from Redbubble. So go check those out because lots and lots of fun. But I am bringing you bookish Christmas present ideas, and I may or may not have filmed a video of me singing yesterday that will come out at some point with 12 days of book Christmas. I'm just saying. Hey guys, thanks for joining. Okay. Do you still get a good profit even if you buy your books off of Amazon? Yeah, it's pretty much the same on any of the platforms. So you have set royalty rates and you get to pick what those are as the publisher or as the author, and then you just set the prices accordingly. So there's not really much of a difference between Amazon and iBooks or Barnes & Noble or any of those other places. The only place where we make a little more profit is if we sell them off of our websites, and that's because we can buy them directly from the printer for the wholesale price, which means we might make $1 or $2 more than we do on the other buying platforms. For me, that's not enough for me to be like, please go buy them from my website. That actually doesn't help me because we don't get rankings with those. So it's actually more beneficial for me for you to buy them from Amazon because when we are trying to buy ads to market our books, companies look specifically at Amazon for the reviews and the things there. So like, I know a lot of people are down on Amazon. I'm not. I make money off of Amazon. Good money off of Amazon. So I have no problem with that. Do I make bookmarks? I do have some that go with my books. You can get them at conventions and things like that. I think I've got a listing for them on my website too. You can buy some of them, but I don't have them for everything because I have way too many books for that. You should do 12 days of bookmarks. I did that one year. I actually one time created printable bookmarks, so you could all get all sorts of fun designs and just print them out yourself. Alright guys, we're at the end of our time. We're right at 3:59, so we've got a minute left. We're going to go a little over, but we are going to give away a book. But before we do, I just want to real quick remind you of some of our announcements today. So on Monday, we will be hanging out over on Instagram at 3 p.m. Eastern, same time as we went live today. Over on my Instagram page, we're going to be hanging out with Jenna A. She's the author of Enjoy the Show, which is a webcomic over on Webtoon and Tapas and a couple of other places, and it is the best written webcomic I've ever read. She is the only person from Webtoon who I mean, you guys know I used to work very closely with a lot of those authors over there. She's the only person that I have said, I will publish this if you turn it into a novel. So highly recommend you go read that. Next week we're actually going to be helping her vote. We're going to be helping her to vote for hers among a crowd of like 10-ish. I don't actually know how many. A handful of them. And we're trying to get her up into the paid tier of Webtoon so that she can do it without spending like 70 hours a week creating a webcomic and not getting paid. So we're fixing this for her. You guys have to help me. So Monday we're hanging out with her. We're going to talk all about her webcomic, which is my favorite. I have to get caught up. I have to get caught up by Monday because I'm not caught up right now. But it's so good. You will binge read it. It's amazing. Go read it. Go read it. If you need links, please DM me. I will send you links to this. It's good. But we're going to hang out with her on Monday. We come with a warning label because we are intense. We are insane. We are so much fun. We hang out all the time. In fact, we actually, you're going to love this. Back when I worked with the webcomic world a lot, earlier this year actually, I got to interview the producer of the Swan Princess movies. And turns out they live very close to Jenna. And I swung an invitation for Jenna to go to their warehouse and actually look at the stills from the movies. She got to take home a still from the movie. She got an Odette dress. She got tons and tons of stuffed animals and swag and just so many cool things. So we can talk about that on Monday. But you get to come meet her on Monday. If you think that I'm high energy when it's just me chatting with you, when I get with my author friends, woo, it's going to be so much fun. I know, Sophie. I know all the people. You know, I'm friends with Disney animators who created The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and like Secret of Nim and like we're on Star Trek and like all the things. And I also know the producer of The Swan Princess because your girl is connected. I'm just saying. You can see the interviews over on my YouTube pages. It's pretty fun. But we're going to hang out with Jenna on Monday. Come. It's going to be great. Also, I wanted to remind you, if you've DM'd me and I haven't responded to you, it's because of your privacy settings. I have tried to DM you and it won't go through. So please DM me another way. I'm not ignoring you. I respond to everyone. The other thing is, I'm doing these live streams every single week here at 3 p.m. Eastern. I come on starting this week, and from now on I will be jumping on 10 minutes early before we officially start, and I am giving you a story from my life that you can use as a book idea. So today I gave you a very weird, interesting thing that happened to me this week that you can write into a book however you want. No credit necessary. It's just me giving you a book idea that I can't write myself because I don't write that kind of thing. So come join me because every single week I'm going to give you a new book idea, a new book topic, a new short story that you can write, a new prompt, whatever you want to use this as. I'm giving it to you 10 minutes before we start this live stream here on TikTok. So set your alarm for 3 o'clock for the actual live stream. And if you want to join me for the book idea, 2:50 Eastern every single Friday. Okay. It is time to pick a comment to win a book. So are we ready? Let me just real quick. I see that some comments came in. She got 3 of my books. Can't wait to read them. This is the first time reading your books. Super exciting. Tell me which books you got. I'm so excited. If you love it, please come talk to me about it. I want to talk about my characters in my books and yell at me for being mean to my characters or loving on my sweeties or whatever. But if you don't like it, don't tell me because we can still be friends even though you don't tell me. But if you do, come and talk to me because I like talking about my books. Okay. All right. You're going to be there. You're going to come hang out with me and Jenna on Monday. I am going to be doing other authors as well on this show. So, like, do it. Here we go. Okay. You get to pick a book of your choice. Omnibuses don't count. That's all I'm saying. because they are multiple books in one, but you can pick any of those that you would like. And I'm just scrolling very gently. I know it's moving my things. And I'm just looking for someone. There's a lot of people that jumped on, so I'm like, where do I stop? I don't know. Ah, Caroline! Congratulations! You have won a book of your choice. Go ahead and DM me on any of the platforms and let me know which book you would like. If you don't know which book you'd like, please head on over to Amazon, read the blurbs, then come tell me which book you like. Please don't come to me and say, what book? Because I don't know. You have to pick. But DM me. You won. Congratulations. Super exciting. I'm going to jump right down. There we go. We got it. Beautiful. Alright guys, thanks so much for joining. Go grab Jaded Golden and the Siren Wars. Oh, good choices, good choices. Those are good ones. Enjoy. Try not to get too angry with me for being mean to my characters. Alright guys, we are signing off for today. Thank you so much for hanging out. I appreciate each and every one of you being here. Join me again every single Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, or 2:50 for my special bonus pre-show. And then join me on Monday as we interview and hang out with Jenna A. of Enjoy the Show. All the fun, fabulous things. Might be doing some giveaways over there as well. And I've got some really cool TikToks that are dropping this week. I am doing behind the scenes. We did just drop the Show Me How You Write series, the beginning of it, over on our YouTube page. So if you've not headed over to youtube.com/KamRobinson Books, go there now. Please go to the Instagram page and subscribe over there as well, because I'm dropping something over on Instagram this week you're not going to be able to find anywhere else. You do not want to miss it. So head on over. I will see you guys again next week. Thanks so much for joining me and hanging out and keeping me company. Until next time, I hope you all have a great day and stay inspired. Bye, friends.